And welcome back. Before the break, Mandy Smith told us that in a past life, she was called Ida Rowan and lived in Manchester, and she's here at last.
I ran all the way from Manchester.
Welcome, it's nice to see you.
Thank
So we'll
you.
give you
I'm
a
so
few
glad
seconds
I'm
to
here.
relax, because you know you've been rushed to get here. So relax a little bit now,
you.
because you can have a look at this, because our
fantastic.
regression detective Lionel Fanthorpe went to investigate all those facts.
I've come north to Manchester this week in search of Mandy's past life.
Do you know what your name is?
Ida, I-D-A, Rowan, 42 Coles Road, Manchester.
I've got a name, I've got an address, and I've got a year. And I'm hoping that Manchester Archives and Local Studies Department will enable me to shed some light on Miss Ida Rowan.
I've got a lead. Mandy mentioned a 42 Coles Road. The only Coles Road in the country is in Cambridge. But there is a Coles Street in Manchester.
This is it, 42 Cole Street. This is the house where Ida said she lived in the 1930s.
Something doesn't add up. That's because in the 1930s, this was Cole Street. And furthermore, the houses only went as far as number 34. There wasn't a 42.
But I have found an Ida Rowan. In fact, it's a very rare name. And in all my research, I've tracked down only one Ida Rowan in the 1901 census.
Our Ida lived here in Wright Street, Manchester, which isn't here anymore, although the M60 is. According to that same crucial census, there was a John Rowan living here.
And where do your parents live? If they're still alive, I don't know.
No, they died.
What were their names?
Teresa May, John Robert.
But there's a problem. The John Rowan who lived here was her uncle. Ida's father was Matthew. And so, once again, more questions than answers.
The most distinctive element of Ida's story is that she gave her two children up for adoption, and then felt so guilty that she chopped her arm off. Surely there'll be some records of that.
Well, I've drawn a blank on Ida's medical records. It seems that they'd have been destroyed 10 years after her death. So there's no way that we'll ever know whether it was our Ida who cut her own arm off.
Behind me is the Charter Street Ragged School. In the 1930s, it was one of the biggest orphanages in Manchester and could well have been the place where Ida brought her kids. Today, it's a religious community centre, and all records of the children who were left here, and more importantly, who left them, have been removed. So it seems possible that Ida may have existed, but crucial evidence has been lost over time.
Amazing.
Did any of that look familiar? I mean, that's difficult that everything had been obliterated, but
But it's just strange, even when we're talking about it and hearing that, it just makes me feel really strange.
I think that's a similar sort of feeling than the one
Yeah,
that,
it's
the one
like
that I
real
had.
emotion comes out.
And you're having dreams and things.
Yeah, real horrible nightmares about people that I've loved or that I love, and just horrible things.
What's that all about, Andrea?
That's actually, in a bizarre kind of way, it's hard for people to understand, it's actually a positive thing. Mandy did have a lot of things that she needs to work through regression, and because she hasn't had a chance to come back again yet, and I'm right in saying you want to do it.
I do.
What's happened is now her subconscious mind's starting to process that, and the best metaphor for that is our dream state. So that's why her mind's starting to process that. Might not be the lives we've gone to, but there's all kinds of things, because she's an advanced soul and probably got issues from other lifetimes she's yet to resolve. They're being processed through her mind.
I think because I've sort of done the Reiki before, once I remember I passed sort of doing the Reiki, after that I had terrible things happen again. So apparently I sort of know it, so I wasn't so scared.
Angela, what are your thoughts, your professional thoughts on this?
Well, it's a difficult one because, as we saw from the VT, there's very little proof. And that's something that I would always be looking for as a psychologist. Where's the proof? And the thing is, when you're in a very relaxed state, you're very open to auto-suggestion. You know, the questions are coming up at you, and you're listening to them, and you're taking them in without question. And there's quite a lot of comparison bias that went on in that.
It's interesting. I have to stand up for Andrea a little bit here, because I didn't feel when I went under that I felt that you'd allowed me to pick my own route. I didn't feel that I was being led in any direction.
It's not so much about leading, but it's just about asking questions, and your mind is open to those questions, and you will answer them. Part of the human mind is to answer and complete stories, a little bit like a dream state.
If I can just say though, but then,
a little bit like that.
I would have chosen to be someone completely different from who I was. Let me tell you, I would have been a princess in a castle or a queen. I mean, I was horrible.
If I can say, there are some psychologists who actually, one of the leading experts in regression was a conventional psychologist and head of psychiatric medicine in Miami University in America, and found that through doing some hypnosis with people, they were skipping into past lives. So he then started to believe in this. These are the world's leading experts.
I suppose from my perspective, I want to know what positive benefit this has on people. Where does it take them? Because I know a lot of psychotherapists who also undergo regression, and what they find is that they knew members of their family from hundreds of years ago. So what? So where's this taking somebody now? Because I have an issue about responsibility. And sorry, am I going on? Let me come back. Where's it going?
I get a lot of clients who've tried conventional psychotherapy. It doesn't work for them, but I think it works for a lot of people. I think what you do is brilliant and works for a lot of people. Some people it doesn't work for, and they've done hours and hours and years of therapy, and mine, although yes, we're only doing a 2-hour session, some people come back and within maybe 5 or 6 hours you've worked through a lot of issues very, very quickly. It's the fast track.
We're going to see some of your other lives, and we'll come back, Angela, to see what you think about this. Have a quick look at this.
It's a gladiator's ring.
Okay. Are you male or female, do you know?
Female.
Okay. No, where are you now?
In like a field.
Do you know where this field is?
Holland?
Okay. Are you aware of having a name or?
Bridget.
Bridget.
Somebody got hit by a train. It's my mum.
Oh, where are you now?
Pisa.
Pisa. And how old are you now?
32.
And what's your name now?
D.
How many years have you been a doctor?
Since I was 18.
Where do you go to work?
Broadfields. Big hospital.
Which hospitals? What's the hospital called?
Taunton.
Well, the Taunton Hospital, Broadfield, wasn't there either. But that's not what you're worried about. But Angela, I want to ask you, would you do it? Would you be regressed just for the fun of it, just to see whether,
we'll
to see what you think?
They'll do it. No, I don't see the point.
She's balanced. She wouldn't really, you know, she had probably
I did it. You're saying I'm imbalanced.
But you're better now.
Well said.
I'm all right, I'm
something
balanced.
very quickly. You know, last week we did John Scott, and there was a business about him riding a day's ride to get married to the church.
Right.
But then we suddenly realised he would have gone to his wife's parish, and maybe she was a day's ride away. And the house that Lionel Fanthorpe found, John recognised. So who knows? Angela, who knows?
Oh, well,
we'll have another fight about this another day. Andrea, thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you. We're going to take a quick break for the news now, but stay with us for today's Battle of the Brides. And Angela's back for that one too. The grooms under the spotlight today. What do they really think about their mothers-in-law? Just to make it a little bit fun, we've rigged them up to a lie detector to